3, 2, 1.
Gentlemen, boys and girls, we're here today with the MMAOB Daily Podcast. We're going to recap UFC Paris. And first of all, let me introduce my co-host here, the man, the greatest guy in Canada, MMA Martin. How are you doing, dude?
Dude, what a guy, man. Yeah, Canada. So it's Labor Day today. So, you know what, Marcel? It's not that I spaced. It's just like, guys, I can't even get into it, but like, there's a lot of stuff going on in my personal life these days. And, you know, all of a sudden, like, things are getting better, right? So then I completely forget that, yeah, I'm off, but I could do the podcast earlier. So I'm like, you know, Marcel, let's just do it now. The Blue Jay game starts at 4:07. Actually, it's 2:07 right now. Blue Jay game's at 4:07, Marcel. So I have 2 hours, guys, and then I plan on chilling out, watching the game, and just having a beer, Marcel, and relaxing tonight. That's my goal, because I've just been going through a lot. So that's my goal. And I just told Marcel, you do the hosting for now, because why not, man? I like I said, Marcel, you know, I just moved into a different place, so like it's exciting times, and you know, spending more time with my daughter lately too, which has been great, man. So things are going well, man. And Marcel, 10-1 in the picks for UFC Paris. So pretty fucking good night. Although again, I should have taken Manon. Obviously, we had a perfect night, Marcel. That close, but doing good, man. How are you?
Yeah, doing well, man. Pretty busy weekend with the UFC Paris stuff. So yeah, today was a little bit more mellow. So I was happy with that, and I was happy we could do the podcast a little bit earlier. So yeah, good stuff.
Let's get to the comments, Marcel. Just read them. Happy Labor Day, Glenn. You got first. Where's Glenn? Glenn probably thought it was 5 because that's what I tweeted this morning. But I apologize for that. Last Pirate looked good. What's up, man? What's up, guys? Glad to have you guys here again. Special time, right? So, you know.
By the way, still, Hans Molenkamp, what are we doing? We're still trying, you know.
I got to start tagging Monster in the posts. You can get Dominic Cruz to come and do an analysis spot one day.
Yeah.
I say let's get into the card, Marcel, UFC Paris, though.
Sure thing.
Good card, right?
Yeah, definitely, man.
A lot of good finishes, man. A lot of impressive performances. What's your overall thoughts on the card?
Was a fun card, man. I think definitely for the French people was great. I mean, only pretty much, yeah. Obviously, one guy lost in the French against French fighter, but only one French fighter lost to a non-French fighter, which we all probably would have guessed. But yeah, it was a good card. There were some good finishes on it. I think overall a great card, man. And I think it was a lot better than expected, probably, because I don't think that the card was that great, to be honest, on paper, but planned out to be a good one. So,
I mean, I think again, I thought it was better than you going into it, and I was still pleasantly surprised, because a lot of the fights were good. Maybe there was 1 or 2 fights. Actually, you know what, Marcel? I'm looking at the card. Most of the fights were really good fights. They're either finishes or they were competitive. So
yeah, it
was a good card. I'd say let's get into it, Marcel. Start with the main event. Ciryl Gane defeats Serghei Spivac by Sekiro TKO. Just looked amazing. Marcel, look at the stats. He landed 109 significant strikes in less than 2 full rounds. Spivac only landed 11. So, wow, the head strike defense have gone. And then, he barely got touched. And then, of course, his offense was just off the charts in this fight. He looked amazing. Again, if he's not fighting Francis or John Jones, Marcel, he's looking fucking amazing in the octagon. So, he's just awesome. And look at his record now, the UFC guys. It is 9-2. Again, with the losses to the best fighter in the history of the sport and the hardest puncher in the history of the sport, probably. So, the guy is fucking good, man. You look at the wins he has, Marcel, all by knockout lately. Spivac, Tuvasa, Lewis, and then obviously the winner, Volkov, Rosenstrike, JDS even. I mean, these are ranked guys, former title challengers, or champions in the case of JDS. So, man, I'm really high on Gane. By the way, obviously we heard the story now. His house got robbed, or apartment, $150,000 of jewelry and possessions and stuff. So just terrible news. I heard that was common in France or Europe, Marcel. I don't know if that's true. They do it to the soccer players. Yeah, terrible. So they do when they're doing an event, because they're the guard is down, right? But yeah. Anyways,
actually,
Marcel. Oh, go ahead.
I remember you got it's pretty much a rival club of Ajax, my team PSV. They had Sahavi, which was an Israeli player, I think, and he was playing with PSV away game, I think. And right then, he got some robbers into his house in Amsterdam. He actually lived in Amsterdam, so in his house, but his wife and his 2 kids were still at home. So I think they how do you say that? They put the things in their mouth, and they they pretty much how do you say that with rope they bond them to each other. I don't know how to say that in English. When they robbed the place, they stole a lot of his watches. And his wife and his kids, they got like that thing. What you see when somebody gets kidnapped in their mouth and they got tied up with rope,
blindfold, handkerchief, like whatever.
Yeah, exactly. So those kind of crazy stuff, but it happens. It happens sometimes, yeah. And I mean, it's happened more and more. And the thing is, like with a lot of these celebrities, they have Instagram, they have Facebook, they have Twitter, and they show their wealth on it. So pretty much, I don't say you don't have to do it. Don't get me wrong, but the thing is, like, if you show your wealth on it, and you show your Rolexes or for whatever, and somebody sees it, they're gonna try to rob you. Maybe if there are bad people, you never know. So I always like, if you have something which is worth a lot. You can do whatever you want, don't get me wrong, but maybe reconsider it to show it to the whole wide world, and if they know where you live, it's a tricky business, so yeah, it's just bad, really bad.
That's terrible. Let's get some of the comments from the guys here. We got Zach here, really good. Hey Zach, what's up, man? He says it's a really great fight night card. It was me until the night before, and they realized it was a lot better than originally thought. Turned out better. Yeah, it was a great card, I thought. Oh yeah, like out of a rating, I'd give it like an 8, a solid 8, right? Good card.
What's an 8? You said
out of 10, yeah, 8 out of 10.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. Jail to win. Yeah. Okay, so that's the thing. Like, what's his name? Severe MMA. What's the guy's name? Or MacLife. Interviewed Aspinall, and he just said like the UFC didn't want him to enter the ring. So like, do they not want to do this fight? Is that okay? Like, just to skip ahead, like Marcel, obviously looking ahead, like. I thought that's what the plan was. Like, I thought that's why he's there. But then Aspinall says to Oscar Willis, that's the guy I was thinking about. He tells him, yeah, the UFC said don't go into the cage. Why would they say that? I don't understand that. They've been doing that a lot more lately, unless they don't want that fight. Maybe they don't want to do that fight. Maybe they want him in Pavlovich instead. Before
the broadcast started, Tom was actually with our broadcast team, the Dutch broadcast team. And he said, like, I want to fight Pavlovich because I want to be the number one contender, and he's the number one contender, and I want that spot, so I want Pavlovich. So, yeah, I don't know, man. I think you can go a lot of ways in that division right now, and it pretty much depends everything what happens on November 11th when John Jones fights Stipe Miocic. I think that's the main reason what's going to happen next. Yeah, no, for sure. A couple other comments here. How do you guys think Gane and Aspinall play? I mean, it's an interesting fight. Like, I probably would lean Aspinall though, just because I think the guy's like upside is off the charts, right? But like Gane's Gane's so good. Go ahead, sorry, Marcel. Go ahead. Yeah, he's more all round. I think. Listen, if you go pure on stand up, I think they can match each other. Maybe Gane is a little bit more technical, but if you take the ground game and thoughts as well, I think Aspinall has a better ground game than Gane. So got to lean little bit with him there. But I think it will be competitive. I would really love to see the fight. I think it's a fight that should happen actually. At the same time, the thing is, like, you have Pavlovich there. Listen, man, they just got to make sure Pavlovich, Gane, Aspinall, and the winner of Almeida against Blades. Make sure you don't get a fight matched up until Jones Miocic has been over, because if you do that, imagine UFC is like, listen, we're going to stack that New York pay-per-view a little bit more. Fuck it, we do Aspinall against Pavlovich on it. We know Pavlovich is backup fighter, but we do actually Pavlovich against Aspinall on it. And that means you are before Jones against Miocic. You win, either Aspinall or Pavlovich wins. Jones fights Miocic, both guys retire. What then? Then the winner fights Gane for the vacant title. Yeah, it's possible, but I wouldn't do that. Marcus, he says, bad body language from Spivac before the refs dropped. He looked terrible. He gassed out. He got the shit kicked out of him. Sorry, Marcus. I know you bet on him. Like, I mean, it is what it is. Marcus, though, you've made some good bets on, like, Pantoja as dogs, so it balances out. Like, you're taking an underdog, right? They're not supposed to win, right? So, like, I think Gane looked even better than expected, though, honestly. Like, he was only minus 190. He should have been, like, minus, like, 300 when you think about it, right? You know what it is, Adam? I think many people just faded Gane because of that Jones fight, but Jones is that good. I don't think people give Jones enough credit of how good he is, Yeah, that's what it is. Because, like, I was surprised at the time. I was disappointed, right? Like, I picked Gane because I'm Jones has been out for a while. I don't really trust him at heavyweight, and then he looks amazing, right? But I think Gane definitely is good, though. Yeah, I don't know what happened to Spivac. Maybe he had a bad camp or something. I don't know. Like, not sure what happened there. He just looked bad. All right, let's go to the next fight. Manon Fiorot defeats Rose Namajunas decision. One judge, Daryl Ransom, 327. Really,
I don't know how he gives that third round to Manon. Personally, I thought that Rose clearly won the third, but clearly lost the first two. So again, Marcel, this was the only pick I got wrong on the whole card. And that was, as the fight got closer, I wasn't as sure. But look at the number, look how close the fight was, right? Rose actually had more significant strikes landed, 60-58, and then it was pretty very close in this fight. And all three of the rounds on paper were close, but if you watch it, like I thought Manon clearly kind of led the dance for the first two rounds. Marcel clearly landed the better shots. Mm-hmm. I mean, I think giving it to Rose would have been a terrible decision. So I think the judges got right. I think the third round, I think Rose, like if it was 5 rounds, Marcel, I'm pretty sure she would have won the fight, right? Because she's so used to that. I didn't even think about really that it's only been her like second, third, 3-round fight in like the last like 7 or 8 years or something. Is that the stat? Something like that. So I should have considered that a bit more. Again, I took a shot in the dog here, right? You took Spivac, right?
Fiorot, yeah.
Fiorot. Sorry, that's what I meant to say. Yeah, you took it. So good pick by you. Go ahead.
Yeah, man, and shout out to John Gooden because he can actually say Manon Fiorot instead of Manon Fiorot. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't a really great fight to watch, to be really honest. It was actually the fight I expected the most. A decision.
Yep.
And
exactly.
Probably Manon winning the fight. That's what I expected. Nothing fancy, nothing big, but yeah, it's a good win for her. Where does it put her in the division on top? But who fights next for the belt? That's a major question here, man. I think. Listen, man, either Manon or Aaron, I would be good with. I don't mind. I think both girls did enough to deserve maybe the shot for the title. Personally, I'm a huge Aaron Blanchfield fan, so I want to see her fight for the title. But that's pure, like, my opinion, But if they give it to Manon, I have no problem with it. But hey, imagine Shevchenko wins a close fight against Grasso. They can do a trilogy there. Then they maybe do Manon against Blanchfield for the number 1 contender spot. I thought it was funny when Manon said, like, yeah, I can fight Blanchfield. That's an easy fight. I think that's a stylistically horrible fight for her, to be honest. So, but maybe I'm wrong. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, but I think Blanchfield should probably get the title shot. I would think.
Yeah.
Yeah, they could fight each other, I guess. But I don't know. Like, I guess I rate Aaron's win over Tyler better, too, just because of the weight class, right?
Mm-hmm.
Rose should have stayed 115. Yeah, I mean, it was competitive, though, Marcus. Again, it was just 5 rounds. She might have won the fight.
Yeah,
but she was coming out strong. Go ahead.
The thing is, like, these girls are stronger than Rose at 125. I think she should stay at 115. I'm with Marcus here. She didn't look. She didn't look like completely out of her league on 125. Not at all. But I think at 115, she got something special at 115.
Give me a second, Marcel. Keep talking. I think it's
I think she got something special at 115, and I don't see that at 125. So that's basically why I want to keep seeing her at 115. Yeah, guys, what should we talk about? I don't know. Maybe the next fight, Benoit Saint-Denis fighting Thiago Moises. Second round TKO. Great win for Benoit Saint-Denis. Yeah, I mean, what can you say? Probably his biggest win so far in his career. And he looked good, man, from the start. I feel like Moises was done, man, after 1.5 rounds. He really was done. He was like, it's not going to happen anymore here, So Benoit Saint-Denis finished him. I think it was an amazing performance. Great fight, deserved fight of the night. Yeah, I love that fight, man. That was amazing.
Yeah, so sorry about that. I don't know. Someone called in, like, guys, I don't even know the number. I shouldn't even picked it up, but like I'm kind of expecting a call too. So I don't know. No one's on the other line. That's weird. All right. Yeah, BSD is amazing. Like, I mean, he's definitely top 15, right? Like right now, I think.
Will you give him?
Pardon?
Will you give him next?
I mean, dude. Let me ask you a question. Is Armand and Benil signed? Is that?
It's not. I don't. As far as I know, it's not signed, but it's what they want to do. I would give him Frivola, man.
Yeah, you could do that. I mean, that would be an amazing fight. I think he wins that fight. I mean, Frivola's look great too. Like, I don't really want to kill off a new guy because they both. I know they're like new, but that's the other guy I was thinking about too. But like, honestly, man, the reason I asked him because like I think him and Armand would be such a great fight personally.
Bro, give him Hooker, man. I mean, but
that would be a great fight, man.
Yeah, but it's not really nice because Hooker now has those shin guards, those metal shin guards. So I don't know if
I know, right? I saw that. Yeah, the tattoos. Listen, like the guy's good. He should be fighting someone that's ranked in that like 8 to 15 range. Mm-hmm. I mean, Armand, yeah, he deserves it. I'm just saying that would be a great fight. But yeah, more realistic is like a Marcano or a Frivola or even a Diego Ferreira is number 15. Could be him. Any of those fights make sense. I think this guy is the real deal, guys. I mean, he's looked amazing at 155. All 4 of the performances were phenomenal. 4 finishes, Marcel. And again, the one loss, guys, was like one of the worst beatings we've ever seen, but the guy didn't get finished. Like, so he's ridiculously tough. The toughest is like off the ropes and at 170 against like a really good striker, the Santos, who's a pretty good fighter, underrated, I would say, throughout his career too. He is actually, so Alexius Gillespie Santos, Marcel, is he has 10-3 record in the UFC. I mean, he's a really underrated fighter. So
yeah, he is.
I mean, he's a bit older now, but still very difficult to beat. He doesn't fight that often. I think he had USADA, but regardless, that loss to me is not really a big deal. I think the guy's a real deal. This was a great performance. Like, he beat Moises like worse than like Makhachev did in some regards, right? So he's the real deal, guys. He needs a ranked opponent. I think we both agree on that. Next fight, Marcel Volkan Ozdemir defeats Bogdan Guskov. Yeah, I mean, this fight, like, again, Guskov, short notice. The guy's just really not that good. He's like he's not very good, Marcel. Honestly, the fact he got submitted here, I think, says like this guy was kind of a fraud alert. He got fraud checked, Guskov, because he had a good record, Marcel, but like, again, the competition was so bad. Volkan showed why he's top 10 in the world. Go ahead.
Yeah, man, I have so many difficulties always with picking Volkan Ozdemir fights, because he's so, how do you say that? Not really. Sometimes he really fights good, sometimes he doesn't. He was just a level above him here, I think. And he actually he made it more insulting by finishing him with a rear naked choke, because he just could punish them out via TKO, but he wanted the submission somehow. I don't think many people pick submission first round, but I mean, good win for Ozdemir. Was supposed to fight Murzakhanov. Took the short notice fight. He said to Stefan Struve, because Stefan asked him about it, he was like, yeah, I wanted to fight in Paris because it's close to Switzerland, and yeah, I wanted to fight here, he said, and the UFC said that nobody available unless they sign a new guy. So I told them to just sign a new guy, I fight that guy. So they signed Guskov, and I got the win, he said, and that what mattered. He wanted to fight in Paris. So yeah, he got his way, and he did it well. So yeah.
I mean, you look at who he's lost to, it's mostly like champions or like title contenders, right? So like Volkan is still a pretty good fighter, I think. Got Antoine in the chat. What's up, brother? Gane, what's up, man? Azamat versus Volkan? Sure. Yeah, that's the fight it was supposed to be, I think, right? So I think they could rebook that fight. That sounds good to me. I'm fine with that.
Somebody has on Twitter where a guy has posted like a Gane got robbed of 150,000. Somebody has quote tweeted, it's like, here is the actual mugshot of the guy who always robbed fighters. They not like it. Picture.
By the way, here's our boy Fight Talk Only. Thanks for the artwork again, as always, my brother. Really appreciate that. All right, William Gomes, Marcel. Okay, let's talk about this fight. So. Again, one of those, we didn't actually get a chance to talk about this fight, but I picked Gomes and I picked Klapowicz. So I went 2-0 in those fights. You picked them both too, or yeah. So I mean, he clearly was going to win the decision, and then he gets a finish with a body kick late in the third round. Listen, it is difficult to say like if it hit the belt or the cup. I think in this case, like I don't think it's clear either way, but I don't know, man. The referee, I think. Like, there must be a way they can, like, just take a timeout and use replay to see, right? I think the problem I have with this one is, like, the ref stopped the fight, and the guy thought it was because, he's going to give him timeout for the nut shot, but he stopped the fight. I don't think he would have stopped fighting, because of that kick. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think so, Gamery, right? It was just a weird finish, man. Go ahead. Yeah.
I have my thoughts about it. The referee said it's a kick to the body, Did you see Ciryl against Serghei before that? That's a kick to the body. That's how you react from a kick to the body. That kick wasn't low, but he hit him on the belt. But because he hit him there, I think the cup shoved. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And because of that, it hurt. It hurt. Yeah, it hurt him. Yeah. So we're just waiting a little bit for Adam because otherwise I have to say this for the second time. So. Yeah, how are you guys doing? I'm doing well, thank you. Yeah, I mean, let's wait a little bit for Adam because if I explain it now, I have to explain it again what I think. So, yeah. Nox says some fighters react because they want the ref to know what it was a blow. It doesn't mean that he actually hurt. True, man, true. But at the same time, I mean, it was bad, by the ref, in my opinion. It was bad. And Adam is back, so I can continue my talk about it. So yeah, what I was actually saying, man, I feel like it doesn't have to be low, but it can hurt him, And the referee was acting like he faked, And I'm like, dude, you cannot say he faked, You cannot say that. He was way too quick with his judgment there. So yeah, I feel like we're just going to continue now. He was way too quick with his judgment there. So for me, it's like he should have just restarted the fight, in my opinion, or just didn't wave it off. That's my opinion.
Sorry about that, guys. I had to take that call. I was expecting. Yeah, no, I just think the ref fucked it up. Don't you think?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's the ref's fault. Like the guys, who is the ref? Who is this guy?
Pora or something.
Loic Pora. Literally, I've never heard of this guy. I mean, maybe he's ref another.
He's a favorite. He's a favorite ref of all Brazilians. Pora.
Yeah, man, I wasn't impressed by the reffing. I just think there was a lot of miscommunication. Like, now, to be fair, he did say fight on, and the guy, turtled up. But does Gamer even speak English? Does he? I don't know.
Yeah, but there were both French guys. The ref was a French guy, and the Gamuri was a French guy. So they could talk French.
I just think the ref fucked it up. I mean, that's really what it comes down to.
The thing is, like, he acted like he was sure that he was faking. You cannot act like you're sure he was faking, You got to give him the benefit of the doubt there, unless it's a clear shot to the gut or whatever, But it wasn't, It was on the top of his shorts,
Again, if we just instant replay should be able to be used here, guys.
Yeah, they did, but they did a
I know, but they did, and then determined it was a low blow. I get it. So that's the thing. So fair enough. You know what? It was. You're right. But I just think the referee fucked up because he should have just called it an accidental one, and then they could have seen if it was legit or not. I just think the other way around, it's like it's hard to get overturn that thing. Anyways, yeah, that was still a nice knockout. I mean, regardless, like a body, getting a finish for 3-0 is good for this guy. I think Gomes, he could get a top 15 guy next. I could see them him against Alex Caceres. Could you see that fight?
For me, it's a little bit too early to be honest, Adam, because for the simple reason, this first fight in the UFC against Jarno Aarons, he dropped the third round. He almost got finished. Second fight against Francis Marshall, dropped the third round as well. Almost got finished. And this one has also some kind of an asterisk behind it, to me. Although he was winning the first 2 rounds again, you know what I mean? So it's like, it's really weird. But I would give him somebody else, but not maybe give him Nate Landwehr. You know what I mean? Why not?
I agree. All right. And then next up, we had Morgan Ciryl gets performance bonus. Marcel. I should mention that Gane also won the bonus. And then fight of the day, I'll talk about that with you in a second. But yeah, Ciryl looked amazing. Getting the knock over Vanilla Sakini, double body kick, amazing. Yeah, I obviously picked this guy to win. I thought it would be more of a grappling type fight for him. But looking back at it, they put them in the first fight in the card. The other dude is already a striker. He's amped up to go. They're going to stand and bang, and Ciryl gets the knockout. So great win for him. He obviously should have been in the UFC for a while, Marcel, I think.
Yeah, the thing is, he lost to Jordan Vucinic and Paul Hughes in Cage Warriors, and that's what probably made him not go to the UFC that quick, And now he finally had some wins again in Cage Warriors, and now the UFC was we're going to Paris for taking him, And smart, because he's a very popular guy as well on the internet, He's a social media star. For example, when Cage Warriors does polls about what is your favorite fight of the year, and he is in one of those polls, it's it gets over 10,000 votes, and 9,500 votes are for him, because that's how much of a great following he has, And he showed it, man. He showed up in his debut in Paris. Amazing win, solid win, first round finish, nasty body kicks. Yeah, I loved it, man.
Dude, look at this. Glenn, so here's the thing, Glenn. We apologize for starting early. I forgot it was a holiday here. So, I mean, I shouldn't say I forgot. I knew it was, but just didn't think to start the podcast earlier. But anyways, yeah, on these holidays, Marcel, if I can, I don't mind doing them earlier, right? But Glenn, glad to have you there, man.
Adam has literally, in Canada, they have 2 holidays a month. Over here, we have 1 holiday or 2 holidays a year, man. I mean, you guys are, they call you guys the nicest people on earth in Canada. You also got the nicest government probably, because you got so many holidays. We never got any holidays.
I got like there's like one a month.
Yeah, it's crazy. We don't have one a month. I want to have one a month.
Yeah, I mean, and then December you get 2, right? Because you get Boxing Day and Christmas.
Yeah, and or how do you say that? Happy New Year's Day, right?
Yeah, we have that too. January holiday, right? But yeah, no, it's good. I think maybe there's like 1 month. I think March doesn't have one. Let me double check.
I feel so sorry for you. 1 month without a holiday.
There's not one in March. That's I think the only month, or in June. No, that's I think June too. So maybe I'm wrong, but anyways, yeah, it's basically 1 month. That's basically what it is. All right, let's get back to the fights. You guys think Morgan can become a real international superstar? Yeah, I think he's good, man. Like, and he got the finish. Like, the UFC featherweight division is deep, man. I mean, how good really is he? Like, he beat a guy that's inconsistent, so it's a good win. But yeah, Taylor Lapilus defeats this Calvin Loughran guy. Like, man, I mean, he won the fight. It was basically damage over control. Had one of those fights because the Irish guy was just pushing against the fence a lot of time, right, Marcel? Doesn't really score, so I wasn't sure what they would do. I thought it might be a split decision, but, I picked Lapilus. He got the job done here, Marcel. I will say, though, that other dude, the Irish guy, was so funny at the weigh-ins, Marcel, like sticking his fingers up and stuff. Like, I think he's funny. Like, he's kind of a heel, right? So he might be interesting going forward. But yeah, Lapilus is good.
You know what we remind me of Joe Warren for some reason.
That's funny. You know what? Maybe, yeah. Kind of like, square face. Dude, his face is like a square. Do you see it? It's like...
Yeah. Somebody called him like a mini Marvin Vittori or something,
Hey, a little bit. But no, I thought he was kind of a prankster, Go ahead, though, Marcel. Any thoughts?
Yeah, Kalen Loughran, he has done well in Cage Warriors, and now he came to the UFC. And he pretty much said it to my colleague in an interview before the fight. He's like, the UFC wanted to give me a gimme fight against Yanis Gamouri, and now I'm kind of a little bit fucked with a veteran, So he was talking a lot of crap, coming up to the fight, but he knew that he actually got a tougher fight because Gamouri, I don't say Gamouri is a bad fighter, but Lapilus is definitely a more seasoned vet than Gamouri is, So that was a tough fight, and I think Lapilus super quick. With his kickboxing, looked really good. Loughran did very well by putting him against the cage and trying to get him to the ground, but he didn't get anything going until the second round. The second round was well done by the Irish guy, got it to 1-1, and the third round, I think it was maybe close until the last minute. I think Lapilus took it away with some good quality shots where he stunned Loughran with in the last couple of seconds. Yeah, good win for Lapilus, man. He's now 4-1 in the UFC, man. I mean, I never understand why they cut him, but he also didn't understand. He said in an interview with Stefan Struve, he's like, I have no idea why they cut me, but I'm back and I want to stay for a long, long time. So yeah, I'm hoping he does well. I really like him, man. I think he's a fun fighter. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, he's funny though, right? Like I can see why you flipped it. A lot of people I think were taking the. How do you say his name? Kylan? How do you say it?
Kalen Loughran.
Kalen Loughran. Yeah, okay, there you go. Thanks. Like, I'm not great at pronouncing these Irish guys' names.
Yeah, me neither. I actually checked UFC Unfiltered with Matt Serra, and he was on there, and he said how you said it. So
nice. But yeah, I think he's someone interesting going forward because he's going to be a heel, right? So yeah, he didn't look good though. He just pushes the guy against the fence basically. Lapilus, yeah, he looked good. I also saw a clip. Lapilus, he did the French commentary for the main event. Did you see that? Like.
Yeah.
He won the fight, and then he went and got changed, showered, and then, did that. All right. Angelosa defeats Reese McKee by decision. Man, I thought it was fight of the night. Do you agree with me?
No, not over Benoit against.
That was your fight of the night. See, yeah. I would have just given Benoit the performance bonus personally. I like this fight the best on the card. I thought this fight was fucking awesome, man. Like, dude, Losa looked great, overall, like great striking, and the wrestling was phenomenal. 6 takedowns, but like there was that one sequence, I think in the second round, where you're just pummeling Reese McKee's face. It looked like a pinball, like he was playing a pinball machine. Like, and then McKee in the third round, Marcel, once Losa starts to gas, he comes back, and I'm like, holy shit, we're gonna see a crazy comeback, like late third round, like a Louis Volkov thing, but he just comes up short. Again, I don't know how one of these judges has a 30-27. Like, how do you give that third round to Losa?
I gotta tell you, man, I banked on that. I had Losa. I think I was like, he either finishes him early and then McKee maybe gets a decision win, because that was one of my 2 wrong picks on this card, McKee,
Yeah.
I was like the last minute of the third round. I was like, dude, he's gonna do it. Crazy because Lusa was actually destroying him.
Yep.
And then he came back. It was a fun fight. And it was definitely even more fun because of that final minute.
Yeah, exactly.
Where you saw, it was a fun fight. Definitely, I liked it as well.
Don't get me wrong, Saint Denis and Moises was a crazy fight too. I just really enjoyed this fight. So for me, like, if you're gonna tell someone to watch the 2 fights in the card, be these 2 fights. Yeah. Marcel, dog pick here. I think you followed me on this one, right? The Cornell, you picked her too.
Yeah.
She gets the job done. Listen, close fight. It was damage versus control. I'm going to read the stats. 40 significant strikes to 18 for Cornell, right? With 5 takedowns for Edwards. So, and let me look at the control time here. 8 minutes and 42 seconds. So, a lot of control time. But I don't know, man. Like, I think, especially that it was 1-1, I think, heading into the third, right? And that final minute where she just looked exhausted, Edwards, is just such a bad look to the judges. And then Cornell did damage. So I gave her the decision. I think a lot of people were like, oh, like, this is a robbery and stuff. But, like, I don't think so. I don't agree really with the 30-27s because I had it, again, 29-28. But I thought Cornell won the fight. I think she won the first and third round, right? I believe. So what do you think?
I had Edwards the first and second round and Cornell maybe the third, but not even convincingly. Yeah. So I was actually shocked by the decision. What will I say? Robbery? The thing is, like, for a robbery, it has to be super clear. I think Edwards kind of clearly won the fight, in my opinion. I can see where you're coming from with your damage over control and that stuff. I understand what you mean. Still, I think Edwards won the fight. But man, the fight isn't how do you say that? Important enough to get me annoyed.
Yeah, no,
to be
for
really
sure.
honest. And at the same thing, Edwards got 2 split decision wins last time out that she actually didn't want. So it's I don't say that she then has to get screwed in this fight, but it kind of feels like it evens each other out. You know what I mean? But I didn't like the decision here. But it's just me. And I don't like Cornell.
I don't like the 2 30-27s. Like, again, like another fight, because I think at least the second round is Edwards. At least, because look at, they both only landed 4 strikes, which is pathetic. But Edwards had 3 takedowns. So, like, how do you give Cornell the round there, really? Right? But again, the first round she had 16-7, and then the third round 27. And I get it. Edwards had like 3 minutes control time each round. But again, like, I don't think it was like effective control. I don't think she was really like advancing position. Like, if anything, Cornell, like, she had some like late reversals where she was able to. She has 3 reversals in this fight, Marcel, which is a lot. So, anyways, again, it's not like I honestly didn't care because I didn't bet on the fight. I just picked Cornell. I just picked her because I thought, like, I'm like, hey, I did the tape study. She looked good, but like, I wouldn't have cared either way personally. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
I mean, I would have been way worse if this was like a top 3 or top 5.
But here's the thing, like, Edwards has been like living and dying by the sword. Like, all of her fights are super fucking close. Yeah. Like, she has to pull away better. All right. Yeah, a lot of people did. I mean, see, I disagree with you guys that she clearly won. Like, but again, like, I if you guys say she won, I'm not going to disagree either. Like, I wasn't sure. I thought it'd be a split decision. I was really surprised by the 30-27s. Farid Basra, I mean, this fight was, he got hit with like a head kick early on by Rodriguez, but just takes over with the grappling, gets the submission. No bonus for him, but I thought it was potentially a bonus worthy performance as well. Any thoughts on? Go ahead. Sorry.
Dude is fucking good, Dude is fucking good.
Him and his brother,
just like his brother. Yeah. A friend of mine actually asked me, "Who do you think is better, Farid or Javid?" The thing is, like, I think Javid is more smarter in this fighting. How he comes, he fights more with a certain safety. I think Farid is more funner to watch. But Javid is more as a higher fight IQ. That's what I think. I don't know if it's true, but that's how I see it. But I think they both can come very far. And I gotta say, Farid, I remember him. He won against Damon Blackshear last time, but he had some trouble. But we all saw that Damon Blackshear was actually a lot better than we thought from the beginning when he came in the UFC. Maybe So and now against Clayton, he looked good, man. Farid, he looked really good, and. I think there are a lot of fun things coming for both brothers. Javid is actually supposed to fight on September 23rd. He still doesn't have an opponent. Let's hope he gets one.
Wait, who pulled out? Who pulled out?
Victor Henry.
So, really? Yeah, that would have been a good fight, actually.
Yeah. But let's hope they find somebody, because I think these brothers are really fun to watch. And, great finish. I think he deserved a bonus. But early on the card, and maybe the UFC executives weren't in the building yet. I don't know. But, yeah.
I didn't. Okay, so Farid's a little bit younger. He's 2 years younger. Okay, that's interesting. 11-0 and 14-0. These two, 25-0. You know what'd be crazy, guys? If they kept winning and then one day they had to fight each other for the title, that'd be crazy. Imagine that. They're both. I'm not saying they're going to be. These guys are good though, man. Both of them are good. Rock, what's up, man? And then we got Blimbot. I don't know if it's. I guess it says it's a bot, but anyways. All right, that was funny. All right, was the last fight here? Yeah. Cavalcanti. Yeah, right. Cavalcanti is pretty good though. You know, good young striker. Sarah Farron is just terrible. Get her out of the UFC. And by the way, who wanted the catch weight? Do you have confirmation on which side was the one?
So actually, the thing. Do you remember that UFC roster watch posted like Cavalcanti with a cross? I was like, what the hell? So I reached out to her management, and he's like, no, man, she's in Paris. What are you talking about? She signed posters. She does. She did all the medicals. She's good to go. I was like, super weird. There's also a catch weight out of nowhere right now. He's like, no, it was always a catch weight. It was 140. I was like, how do you say it? In the press release, it was 135. He's like, yeah, that's obviously a mistake by them because it was short notice. We asked for a catch weight, so it was 140. So, 140. Fight happened. I think Cavalcanti was just way quicker in the things she did than Zara Farron, you know. And Zara Farron, she always struggles, dude. I don't know. Listen, man, I will never say somebody should get cut out of the UFC. I'm not like that, you know, because you're talking about somebody's job. But at the same time, Zara Farron, she's 0-4 now. She always struggles with making weight. She needed an extra hour, and she's like, I'm a ninja on the scale. I was like, okay. And dude, she got a huge pop coming into the Accor Arena in Paris by the French people. And I tweeted out like, Zara Farron got a huge pop from the crowd. I never thought I was going to tweet this. But all that, I think Cavalcanti could debut win, you know. But let's be honest, you got to win against Zara Farron if you get the chance to get in the UFC against her, although it's on short notice. I think Cavalcanti did what she had to do. I want to see her with a full training camp. Maybe she looked better, you know. I think she did enough to win 30-27. I was happy we didn't have the one idiotic judge there who gave it 29-28 fair because it was in France. You never knew. But, good fight or good win for Cavalcanti. Wasn't a great fight, but she did what she had to do and she did it. So good for her.
Yeah, no, I think she looked okay. I mean, look at the stats. Like it was 126-39. Like that's a pretty dominant win. Again, like she didn't really go for the finish though, which kind of bothered me, but she still clearly, and it was her debut. Like, so there's going to be some nerves there for short notice, right? Yeah. Like, so yeah, exactly. That's what I'm thinking. So, girl's what, 25, I think she is. She's super.
Yeah, she's young.
Yeah. 26. She just turned 26. No, wait. Yeah, turned 26 last week. So yeah, she's pretty good. All right, that's it for that. All right, let's go to Glenn didn't like it. Yeah, I know what you're saying, Glenn. Edwards, yeah. Farron is just not, like, she should not be in the UFC at all. Let me go to UFC. We'll do Contender Series, Marcel?
Because you asked so nicely.
Sure. So we'll do Contender really quick, guys, and then we're going to do the UFC 293 preview. I just don't want to forget about Contender before we get out of here. Let me just pull up the card.
So right, we were wondering last week why Pradas was such a huge favorite.
Well, there's why, right? Yeah. I mean, Gane is saying he's like Anderson Silva. I don't know about that at all, but the guy is clearly good. He gets the win here over Mitch Ramirez, knocks him out, gets a contract. I mean, that's a no-brainer. Now, let me just go through the no-brainers first. Okay, there's a few things I want to talk. Let me bear with me for a second. Okay, so yeah, this guy obviously gets a contract. Thomas Jefferson obviously gets a contract. Excuse me, Thomas Peterson, dude. Let's just talk about this quick. Like, listen, this guy, like Justin Bernard, like I don't have an issue with the guy. Like he's been good. I actually tweeted about him like last season. I think I'm like, hey, this guy's pretty good. That is just so bad though. Like Thomas Jefferson, and then the guy yells back Peterson. He could have corrected himself.
That's he just walks away. Yeah,
he should have corrected himself. Like I don't know what happened there. Like, and there's no one like. I thought he has an earpiece. Isn't someone like, hey, his name's this? I don't know what happened there. Like that was terrible though. Like that, whatever happened there was awful. Like that is the guy's biggest moment of his career. I mean, listen, he just got signed to the UFC. It's big.
And out of nowhere, they said American president, right?
Guy's been dead for 400 years. Yeah, I mean the guy. He's good though. Like Chandler Cole, my God, Marcel, that'd be like if you were in the cage, you kind of look like a little bit like you, eh? This guy maybe could fight at 205 because he doesn't really have muscle. It's just like it's just flat, So.
Yeah.
He had a shot in tough and Contender. Now I don't think the UFC is going to bring him back.
No, probably not.
Quickly though, your boy Oki, amazing performance. I mean, this was the start of the night, right?
Man, he did really good. Yeah, against Dylan Salvador. I
Bro,
mean,
those body shots, holy fuck. Like, Dana loved it. You know, he was just like, yep, signing. Like, we all knew he was going to sign. I hope they can give this guy, like, a quick turnaround fight. That's what I'm hoping.
They should be able, I think. Yeah, I mean,
oh,
he's the
should do him.
Fourth fighter from Belgium, right? Fourth fighter from Belgium.
Is there another European card coming up before the end of the year?
No, not as far as I know. I don't think so, no.
Okay, maybe, honestly, man, after this performance, guys, like, why not throw him on
Abu Dhabi?
Either that or, like, the New York card, like on the early prelims. Like, there's got to be 12 or 13 fights in these cards.
Sure.
Why can't this guy open up the card with, like what he's lightweight, right? Like, let's find a fight for this guy. Guys, I was beyond impressed. I mean, how could you not be? And look at the guy's resume, Marks, all those, like, body shot finishes he's getting. Who should he fight? He's 1-0 in the UFC. I really like this guy. I think he can get he didn't take any damage. You know the matchmakers liked him. You know they're already thinking, okay, where are we going to put him on? He's a lightweight. So let's take a look. He's 1-0. What about that Naimov guy? Could they do that fight?
Yeah, why not? You know what fun would be? Trevor Peek.
I mean, it'd be fun, but Trevor Peek coming off the loss, I don't know if they'll do it, but it would be a fucking good fight, right? I'm just looking at some other guys. Chris Duncan, that would be a pretty good fight, I think, actually. That would be a really good fight, wouldn't it? That would be a good one. I think Duncan would try to make it boring.
Chris Duncan is booked, so...
He is? Who's he fighting?
I'm not sure, but he said he's booked, so I don't know.
All right, let me try. There's some other. I'm just looking at like 1-0 guys. There's some guys like what's his name? You know what? Other be a good fight. Like again, he's 2-0 now. Sadikov, but man, that would be a good fight. Or Evan Elder would be a good fight, right? Actually, that would be a great fight, wouldn't it?
What about Terrence McKinney?
That would be a great fight. That's actually another great option. That would be a great fight. Or even the Valdez guy that guy that is free, but man, he's fun to watch. I'm excited, man, for this guy. I was beyond impressed, Marcel. Like, sometimes you just see like a guy that really has it, and I think Dana saw like money signs in his eyes again when he saw this guy, because man, the way he was going to the body is just, you don't see it in MMA that often. It was really special, I thought. And the headshots were extremely accurate too.
Adam, trivia. Who are the other 3 Belgian fighters in the UFC?
All time or now?
All time.
3 Belgian fighters?
You need to know one for sure. The other 2, I give you.
Oh, man. Belgium. I don't know, bro. I honestly don't know.
The one you should know for sure is Tarek Safedine.
Yeah, it's that one, of course. Yeah.
And the other two are Cindy Dandois and Gaetano Pirello.
Oh, great call. Gaetano Pirello. Yeah. You think he's Italian, but I guess he's born there. Great call. Mariscal's another guy, but he's fighting this week against Jack Jenkins, by the way. Go ahead,
yeah, maybe the winner.
Who's Sponge? Who's that?
Yeah, that's Tarek Safedine.
Oh, Tarek the Sponge Safedine. Yeah, of course. Dude, Tarek was a good fighter back in the day. I mean,
he was Strikeforce champion, right?
Yeah, he was. And he beat Nate Marker, I believe. He retired a little bit sooner than I thought, he could have, but he was losing at the end. The fight with Rory McDonald, I think he took a lot of damage in that fight. I think that was in Halifax.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, I thought Oki looked great, guys. I'm raving about the guy. Let's just quickly go to the other 2 fights, because I just wanted to get your thoughts. Dana passed on Tulio and Kuamba. Would you have signed either guy? None of them? Do you think that they just been signed too many guys? He's like, you know what? They didn't get a finish. Let's not sign them. What do you think happened?
I'll tell you a little bit backstory about the Tulio thing. So Tulio fought Yusri Belgari, and Yusri is from my country, right? So Dennis, my colleague, did an interview with Yusri after the fight, and he was like, "Can you explain a little bit what happened?" Well, he's like, 10 days before the fight, I got really ill, he said. So I called Glover, who is also in his corner. He's like, "Dude, I really feel bad. I probably have to go to the hospital." So Glover comes over, he takes him to the hospital. And he got bitten by a harvest bug. So he got something like meningitis, and he got Lyme disease. So he's on a lot of medication, and he asked the UFC, can we reschedule the fight or whatever? And the UFC is like, no, we have to have this fight right now, or we have to find a replacement, because we're not going to reschedule this one. So he's like, yeah, okay, I'll try to make it. So he's like, I'm still on medication. The UFC knows about it, but they appreciated that I took the fight. But I only had pretty much gas for 3-4 minutes, and then I was completely done, So, and Tulio took over actually after 2 or 3 minutes, but he didn't finish the fight. And the UFC knew about that U3 was on medication and was fully. So I think that made a part of the decision why they didn't took Tulio. The thing is now, of course, if they need the middleweight, they definitely come to Tulio, because Tulio is a teammate of Charles Oliveira, so he has the connection. So I think he will be in the UFC anyways, The other guy that was Timmy Kwamba, right? I think Vogel won the fight, man. I had Vogel winning the fight 29-20.
Yeah, I would have been too. It came down to the second round, right? I honestly wasn't sure what the judges would say. Like, I thought it'd be split, but yeah, Vogel, again, according to the stats, outlanded the other guy 67-43. And again, it's round by round, but I thought he won the fight. The second round, he outlanded him 24-13, third round 58-9. So the stats, and he had that takedown too in that third round, right? So clear. I thought he won the fight. I guess that's why they didn't sign him too. Anyways, but yeah, the Tulio thing makes a lot more sense now. All right, guys, we're gonna finish up and we're gonna start a new podcast here.
That's when you listen to this podcast, you get some more inside information that don't get anywhere else.
That's how you sell it, man. So, anyways, yeah. But yeah, guys, no, we're just gonna finish up the podcast here. Appreciate everyone joining us as always. Special edition, special time. We're gonna break down UFC 293. I'm looking forward to talking about these fights with Marcel. Some good fights on this card. Just stay tuned with us for a sec, guys. I'm gonna tweet out a new link for the preview show. Talk to you in a few minutes.